Thanks for staying with us. So today we actually have a supermodel, international supermodel, that'll be our guest later on. But first, we need to open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' views on the abduction of these young boys. So over the weekend, as we said earlier, the news of the abducted 333 schoolboys from Government Science Secondary School Kankara in Katsina filtered through the air. Now, the governor, Aminu Masari, said that they are yet to be found. And this truly is sad for many Nigerians because there have been lots of thoughts on this. We'd like to hear your views, especially because we've been through this street before in 2014 with the Chibok girls' abduction. And there was quite a lot of pushback from Nigerians when the government kept denying that it actually happened. But in this case, there hasn't been any denial, but there have been assurances from the army that the boys will be found. Let's hear your thoughts on this. You can call us on 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your VTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so this happened in Katsina, especially the state of our president. Before the break, I was saying that we are all here complaining that the president's speech did not, the speech after the Lekki shooting did not reference what happened, the fact that 43 farmers were beheaded, and we're yet to even hear him actually even go there or to condone. We've seen that, we know the army went there and other people visited the governor, but we've not, the president's posture hasn't really been empathetic. Now, this has happened in his state, and we're seeing exactly the same thing. I'd like to hear your thoughts on not just the president's response, but the security apparatus within that state. The fact that even till now, especially in the north, you expect that many of these schools have extra security because of what has happened in the past. What are your general thoughts? And I'd like to open our phone line so I'll call us and call in to hear their thoughts on this. Yes.
Okay. Sadly, Nigeria's security apparatus reflects that which of a failed state. You know, a failed state is a state that cannot protect the citizens of a state. A state that cannot ensure that people freely go to work and get back home. It's a failed state. Your children don't have peace. Parents don't have peace taking their kids to school. I have a farm, and every time I'm thinking of going and I tell everybody I'm going, my people are scared. They remind me of everybody that got kidnapped the week before. I read the papers and I hear stories of people going to their farm getting kidnapped. This is the definition of a failed state. So it's not about declaring a state of emergency on some areas. It's about declaring a state of emergency on the nation, because everywhere is not safe, Murayo. There are kidnappings in the north, there are kidnappings in the south, there are kidnappings in the east. It is not a small, isolated situation in the north. This that happened in Katsina is terrible. I cannot imagine how those parents would feel. There's no way anybody can imagine being in that kind of situation. And to have a president who's a father and a grandfather, but we hear people around him saying that a lot has been done. What is a lot that has been done? We need to have constant conversations he needs to have constant conversations with his people to assure us of what he's doing. There needs to be a posture of, I understand, I can imagine what you're going through, and I am working and doing my very best to ensure I protect you better. We're not having that response. The shout has been on for over a year. For most of his administration, that he should fire the military, the service chiefs, because one, the chief of army staff is already years overdue in terms of retirement. Can you now inject new blood and new ideas? But we haven't done that.
Well, let me hear your initial thoughts on this.
For me, my heart is really heavy. I mean, when I heard this story, I was like, again, why, you know? And I was saying to you earlier before the show started that, what are we coming here to say? What are we going to tell Nigerians? What are we going to express? What new words are we going to give Nigerians? What are we going to tell these parents who are now sitting down, haven't slept and woken up to the reality that their children have been kidnapped from school? You know, we hear the government say Boko Haram is somewhat defeated. These are just soft targets. They are cowards. Okay, we know that they are cowards. We know the soft targets. Let's secure the soft targets so that they do not reach there. And then when they do, see, I think many governments and administration find it impossible to, you know, everybody comes, when you do good, you're able to come and say, this is what we have done and this is what we're doing going forward, and you praise yourself. But what we do not see governments do is come in front of the people and admit to them that they have failed. We are sorry, but we need to admit to you Nigerians that concerning the war against insurgency, banditry, kidnapping, we have failed and we need help. Simple. And you see the Americans that say that they are singular American. Talk to those sort of people. We need your help. Come, let's do whatever it is that you need so that this can stop. So that our children will stop being kidnapped from under our noses, taken away, turned into bandits. Tomorrow, you will catch them because they have been strapped with bullets on their bodies. It's just so unfair. I feel so sad. You know, this is the far north for today. We have our own children. We're going to send them to school tomorrow. And then they go to school. Is this the sort of, you know, you send your child off to school, aren't you going to be afraid that what may happen to my own child? Do we look at these children because they sound like far northern children or children far in the north? That is not a reality for it cannot be a reality for every Nigerian. Please, we should do something. I just have nothing to say.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines to hear Nigerians' thoughts on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to open our phone lines. You can call us on 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. Now,
so we have a field system. You know, I remember that a few years ago, it was kidnapping in the Niger Delta, and they were kidnapping foreigners, people that came to work there. Then in the north, it started as Boko Haram, and then it was just little by little, they were growing, they were fighting Western education, and then we had banditry, and then now we had what they call killer headsmen. Then now we have kidnapping, not just in small localities, everywhere. It is, we have created an industry, you know, and this monster we have made has now gone out of control. And it will require a whole lot more than just throwing money at it. Because so far, what we've done is we've been paying ransoms. And as long as we keep paying ransom, we would continue to encourage this industry. But I cannot look into the face of anybody whose family member has been kidnapped and say, don't pay ransom. Because it's not on top of my head or my child or my family member's head that you will now start the discipline.
But okay,
the government needs to, it's not carrot and stick approach, because they've tried offering.
But okay, do you think this is time for us to have that constitutional review? Because maybe the issue we're having is there is a group of people that say they're against Western education. Some are saying they are against democracy. Some are saying that they don't believe, they demand resource control. Maybe it's time for us to have a conversation, because go back to that confab report.
This is criminal. This is crime.
I know crime. I understand where I'm coming from. Where is Boko Haram coming from? Boko Haram is saying they're against Western education, right? And they seem to also have people who believe in that same ideology. Now, if it is in fact so, why are we even having schools in certain areas? Why do we even move? I mean, I'm just thinking hypothetically, because nobody has all the solutions to the problem. But those children are vulnerable because they are in school in a certain region. So why don't we find a way to reorganize? Because if you want to send your child to school, send them to the southeast, or send them to the southeast, or send them somewhere where there wouldn't be any group against Western education. Because that's what we're reading from this.
For my own, the idle hand is the devil's workshop. We have many idle hands. Many. Mariah, we have millions. I drove to Lekki yesterday, and I was seeing like a mob when you're about to turn into that Sakumo area. They gather, they're trying to wash your car. Then there are women with children coming to beg you for alms. And I'm like, these people, you see these little children, these like 10 of them on the road, these are the potential challenge, these are the potential in the next 10 years problem for us as a nation. We need to get them positively engaged, and until this nation finds a way to provide jobs for people so that they will not resort to crime as a way of feeding their family, then we not started, because it's that loophole we keep, because when they get older, then we have a new generation that will fill in the gap for these criminals.
Mariam, the army said that they're going to rescue these children. Do you trust that we'll get these children back? Do you really believe?
I just hope, and I pray that they do. But from what we have seen over time with the Chibok girls, we're counting years with, you know. And it's not just, we're calling Chibok girls, we're calling GSS, Kankara, because those are the big ones. This thing is happening every day, and we do not hear so many stories of rescue. With the way the military has carried itself, with what the rescue mission has shown us, it does not seem as if, you know, there's any hope. But that is all I can depend on right now. We need hope, but also we need help. Our own military or security architecture, obviously, is unable to do this. You have done your best. So we're not saying that, you know, although many people would beg to differ, we're not saying that you folded your arms and you're doing nothing. But maybe this is overwhelming for you. Maybe this is something you cannot handle. You know, we took in the papers last week where a representative of the United States of America was saying that it seems that Nigerian government, they do not like the response. Our response seems so inadequate when we hear stories of kidnapping and banditry like that, and they're willing to help us. For those who are willing to help us, for those who have the strategy, who have the intelligence, who have the weapons to help, let's engage these people.
Okay, let me take this call from Umar from Adamawa State. Good morning, Umar. Are you there? Yeah, Umar, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes. My contribution here is that President Muhammad Buhari has already tried in terms of security, because we that are in the Northeast, we know what he has done to us. As before, no any market. Before you go to church, before you enter mosques, you must be checked before you go to church or to mosques or market. I go today, not any bomb blast. I could remember there was a time when bomb blast rock Kano, getting to more than 20 bombs at a time. But today, all these things, we forget about all the things now. The issue is that, like you have said, the issue of these service chiefs, they are long overdue for Mr. President to change the service chiefs. But for the president to come out and say he failed, you are not fair to Mr. President, because we that we are in the Northeast, we know what the president has done to us in terms of security. No more checkpoints now, and it is very hard for you as a Nigerian to identify the correct soldier and the wrong soldiers, because security tactics is different, and the Boko Haram are using the poorest step to engage them in doing this thing. And I want to assure you, because you people, maybe you are staying in Lagos, you don't know what is happening here. No, everyone is not safe. It's not in terms of school, or in terms of market, or in terms of church or mosque. This Boko Haram, they don't have even motion or agenda of crippling only the educational system. Rather, they are against government. They don't have mission. In short, they don't have mission and vision. Everyone is not safe.
Thank you very much, Umar. Thank you. Thank you for shedding light, at least from Umar's perspective and from Adamawa State. He said the president has actually done a lot, because they used to have a lot of gold mines, but now that has been reduced drastically. And I mean, so they're relatively safe within that community. And it's good to hear some good news from that northern region. But going back to our president's response, I mean, is this just his style? Do you think? Maybe we need to understand it better. Maybe we're the ones expecting too much.
Ashama Ahmad said, I'm compelled to act on this. This president needs to know visiting and showing empathy is symbolic. So I think that leaders around the world, this is what they do. When even if you don't know anything, if you don't have anything to do, you show up and just say, I care, I understand, I feel you. And I'm sorry. It's just to show that empathy. But we don't see that, we don't get that response. We don't even get it from media aides around the president. What they do is lash and attack anybody that attacks the president. We are being pained. People are hungry. At the same time, they are being killed, they are being kidnapped, they are dying. And you expect us to be reasonable. You should wear the shoes. We don't have escorts. If Federation is going out, he would have escorts. There would be security apparatus around him that would take the bullet before it gets to him. We don't have that. So we have the Nigerian is entitled to be be angry and lash out on Twitter. The government officials don't have any right to be angry with the citizens. Your job is to assure us and empathize and say you are sorry over and over and over again.
And because Nigerians always say, whenever this comes up, we talk about the service chiefs. We have said that they are long overdue. If you're not even speaking, let us see that you have done something. Do you understand? If you're not standing in front of the people and taking the mic and saying this, I'm sorry, let us just even hear that we woke up in the morning and everybody has been cleared out and fresh, and just new service chiefs have been appointed, and we have new strategy, new ideas, fresh blood. In fact, people would be so, moved by that form of action over than your words. But now we don't even have action, we don't have words. Some people have been able to hold down a country and calm down a situation with just words. They come out, they speak the words, they calm you down, and you're able to tell where your mind is, that you have empathy. But there's nothing, it's just almost silence.
Let me take this call from Teslim from Kaduna State. Teslim, are you there?
Yes.
Thanks for calling, you're live.
Hello, good morning, I'm on the line.
Morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I just want to ask what Mr. Umar said from Adamawa State.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We are not saying the government have not done anything.
Okay.
They have done something, but they have not done enough.
Right.
They are trying, but they have not done enough. Just like I said, in this country, our president is poor. He's very, very poor. I would have to admit it. If something is going wrong, you have not admitted it. That means you are not saying there's something wrong. But that admission alone is something. That's why what Tope said. That dictation you go to make it sympathize with the people, it really, really means a lot. But when there's something going on, the president just gets news, people are dying, people are saying the president does not say anything, maybe he just send a delegate to go there. Do you think those people at heart will say, okay, this president, whatever you have done to them and you have not sympathized with them, you have not come out to say something, they will never look at you like you are doing something. But that's just words of sympathy. You utter a word, you make the person feel calm, even when somebody is agitated or is angry. You make him feel better, less pain, less pain. But in this country, we have nothing like that. It's like the government does not care. They're not even bothered. They're all after what they achieve, what the government have done. They have done that, they have done this, just very no.
Thank you very much, Chesty. See, there are different kinds of leaders. There are leaders that have that attitude of, I have engaged quality hands or competent hands to handle this situation. I expect and I trust that they will do their job. He's not the kind of leader that wants to be there in the front lines. He's a leader that leads from behind. No, I've empowered you. So maybe that's the kind of leader he is. He's the kind that expects his Buratai to be at the forefront. So even if the president is not there, why will we not even hear from Buratai himself?
That sort of leadership will work if that strategy was working. If, as I said earlier, if we're not hearing from you, but that we can see the action, happening and things are changing, and you should be like this our, you hear now, this our president is a silent performer, but you're just it's like you're silent and what is happening. Yeah, right. So, in fact, maybe even for PR's sake, to make it look good, he should be advised to speak up, because these are tough times, as the two callers called from Adamawa and from Kaduna State, where they're saying that they have seen some form of work by the federal government, and we don't hear that enough. So you tell us. Many people say, oh, because you live in the South, you live in Lagos, you don't know. But I know people who do not necessarily share their own opinion about how things are being handled. So, but if we hear it from you, you tell us. We used to have the vice president speak. Yeah. All of a sudden, he has gone silent as well. And
mute.
I mean, what's happening?
Totally mute. Even for him to come to National Assembly, they're playing the constitutional card. Come and speak to us. Okay, fine, you don't want to speak to the media. Speak to the another arm of government, the National Assembly. Your people are not bringing constitutional cards. Oh, it's not constitutional. Let us start a precedence where it's like start summoning governors to come and start speaking at the House of Assembly. Who does that in the face of insecurity, heightened insecurity in our nation? We have to wrap up on this. Let's take it and run away.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, so Andrew Streatham is saying that this is like frog syndrome. You keep adjusting oneself in the cold kettle on fire till one gets boiled. That's the situation in Nigeria. They keep on adjusting and shouting Niger for life. Tonte Ibikalabo, for that pronunciation. President Buhari's response to the crisis, the best he does is to be in shock, and that's all. Nigeria needs assurance that their lives are not on a time bomb. Nigerians want to live and not die. Nigerians want to breathe freely. So people are just asking, I guess, let's hear your thoughts. I am Strochi says, if we like, we should change service chiefs 100 times. Without an effective, well-equipped and responsive police, it's all a waste. Students were kidnapped from a school. Next thing is military. What happened to the police? What of the IG, the DIGs, the AIGs? So, everyone is complicit in this. Don Lucci says, it's really sad that we have this type that the government doesn't seem to value human lives at all. This is the same way our government and its military said that they're on top of the Chibok girls' abduction, and up till today, most of the girls are still missing, and now this.
We have to wrap up on this, unfortunately. That's all we can take. As I said, as Mariam said earlier, all we have is hope. So we'll just hold on to that string of hope from the military, saying that they know where these boys are and they're going to go after them, and they're asking Nigerians to pray that there won't be much collateral damage. And let us do that. We can pray that the boys, none of them would die, and that the military will rescue them. We pray for their safe return to their families and loved ones. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can speak to our celebrity international guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.